This whole idea came from a unique perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
A mix of lived experience, design thinking, and research.
Well, it could mean much less miscommunication, less time just trying to figure out the core problem. By bringing hidden details into the light, the idea is it empowers clearer understanding, better collaboration, makes those crucial talks more precise.
Which means less time diagnosing the problem, more time on strategy and solutions.
Leading to smoother, hopefully more effective mental health support.
It feels like a very grounded, very human technology, not as a replacement, but as an amplifier for human understanding, especially in mental health. Shining a light on the unspoken, making invisible struggles easier to communicate and hopefully easier to act on.
Yeah, it crystallizes that potential. Not just in therapy, perhaps, but communication more broadly.
Which really makes you think, doesn't it? If technology, designed this thoughtfully around human behavior, can help articulate the unarticulated in mental health, what other complex human situations, what other systems could benefit from a similar approach, one that actively looks for and illuminates those hidden, invisible communication bottlenecks? What other crucial insights might just be waiting there, just under the surface, waiting to be revealed? Especially when things get tricky, like, in mental health settings. We've all been there, I think, struggling to put complex feelings into words. Or maybe worse, when those thoughts aren't even fully baked in our own heads yet.
Exactly. And that's where this core idea from our source comes in. It highlights what it calls an invisible communication bottleneck, particularly in mental health care. It's this idea that the biggest hurdle isn't always what's said, but what's unseen, what's unarticulated.
An invisible communication bottleneck. Okay.
Yeah, and we're going to unpack how a specific type of tech, design-led AI, is being proposed to, well, make that invisible stuff visible, to bridge those gaps.
Why is this bottleneck invisible? Why so hard to spot?
Well, that's precisely why it's invisible. Everyone is trying their best with the tools they have, but not just about keeping quiet, it's about things you can't quite say because they're still fuzzy, still unformed in your own mind.
Ah, okay.
And this leads to assumptions, right? Like assuming you're both on the same page or that there's enough time in a session to get it all out, which often isn't the reality.
Right. We lack a good way to sort of voice that internal static.
That's a great way to put it, that internal static or confusion.
So can you give us some examples? What does this invisible stuff, these unacknowledged issues, actually look like?
Sure. Think about maybe someone who consistently avoids talking about the future. They don't say, I feel hopeless, but that avoidance pattern is there. Or someone who constantly downplays their successes. Again, they're not stating a negative belief directly, but the behavior points to something underneath. Or maybe describing worry really vaguely, like, I just feel off. They haven't maybe connected the dots themselves to label it as anxiety.
Gotcha. So it's these nuances, these half-formed things, the behavioral cues. That's the bottleneck.
Exactly. The information is kind of there, but it's unspoken, unformed, and so it often goes unaddressed. It's not there to replace therapists. It's not diagnosing people. It's not creating treatment plans.
Okay.
Its role is designed to be an assistant.
Okay.
To tackle those specific, often unacknowledged issues that just make communication, well, clunkier. It's maybe less about artificial intelligence and more like augmented intuition for the professional.
Augmented intuition, I like that. And this design-led approach, what does that really mean in practice?
It means the AI is built from the ground up with the user experience, the human interaction, right at the very center. It's not about just automating something.
Right.
It's built to understand how humans actually communicate. The hesitations, the nonverbals, the word choices. It's designed and trained for a very specific, focused job. Identify the invisible issue.
So it's like a highly specialized pattern spotter for human communication, analyzing thoughts, struggles, things we can't quite articulate.
Precisely. That's the behavioral-driven design aspect. It's tuned to anticipate and structure the expression of those hidden patterns. It essentially gives a voice to that internal confusion we talked about. It provides the therapist with an objective summary.
Objective summary, like data points.
Exactly. Data points for the professional, like observed subtle linguistic shifts over the last 3 sessions, or consistent avoidance of future-oriented topics. Things like that, illuminating the subtext.
And the source suggests this whole idea came from a unique perspective, right? A mix of lived experience, design thinking, and research.
Yeah, that blend seems key. It allowed them to spot these overlooked issues that someone maybe inside a professional silo might miss. Could mean much less miscommunication, less time just trying to figure out the core problem. By bringing hidden details into the light, the idea is it empowers clearer understanding, better collaboration, makes those crucial talks more